I have a terrible problem cursing, and that's just really unprofessional. So I'm trying not to go too much, but at the same time, the truth is that I think everybody knows here that search engine optimization is essentially a revenue culture. And every day, Google's trying to stop what you're trying to do. Even the most white-hat view, Google doesn't want you to be able to manipulate the search results in any way, shape, or form, regardless of whether it's like content or whatever. So today I'm going to be talking about social media link building. The first thing that I really want to do is set some ground rules about what my company thinks about social media link building and the social media in general. And we sort of have like a set of ground rules that we use to describe what kind of social media we're willing to be into. The first is it's about links and absolutely nothing else. If it doesn't get links, we don't care. There's some things we're not going to talk about today, or at least I'm not. We're not going to talk about Facebook, we're not going to talk about Twitter. No, those are good. You can get links by doing well. That's an ancillary benefit on those networks. What we're going to talk about is specifically doing social media link building for the purpose of acquiring as many high-quality links as possible. Most importantly, for the purpose of link laundering. So when we talk about paid link building things in the future, the other speakers today, that'll just look like a drop in the bucket compared to what you've got from all of these other types of campaigns. To be certain, social media marketing has a really fantastic potential. I unfortunately can't pull the internet off radio. I probably can, but I'm too lazy to do it. But the truth is that the dig effect really still does exist. In fact, it exists in far more places than it did when dig was there. How many people here knew that dig effect is the slash dot effect before dig came around? Okay, so there are a couple of developers in the house. The truth is that it's been around much longer, and as sites get bigger and bigger, servers get a little stronger and stronger, but regardless, if you do well, your site's going to go down. In fact, just yesterday, on a whim, I had one of my developers throw together an F7UK post. Does anybody, or F7K12 post, does anybody know what those are? The graphics. Okay, regardless, they're just these cute little cartoons. In particular, he was talking about how that if a United States person goes over to the UK, the girls don't find the accent nearly as attractive as the girls in the States find the accents of the UK folks. Regardless, subreddit post made it to maybe third or fourth on the subreddit, not on the homepage, 34,000 visitors, which is equivalent to what you would expect from Dig a few years back. So what we're going to try to do is go through what opportunities are available, specifically how you execute on those opportunities to make sure that your campaign succeeds, and then finally, and most importantly, the follow-through that is necessary to make sure that you actually turn that traffic into links. First off, status update. I don't know how many of you people use Dig. It's sort of a dying cause, and if you do, you're probably going to not tell many other people that you use it anymore. The truth is that from a link building perspective, in general, Dig is dead. First off, they've replaced all of their homepage links, if you get to the homepage, with a 301 redirect to their pages. Now, I know, 301 redirects should pass at least some percentage of a link to on. That being said, it's just one step further and further away from being able to give us a good link off the Dig homepage. Secondly, there's a ridiculously short lifespan of homepage links. For example, on average, a story in the last 3 months that was posted to Dig was down on the homepage for anywhere from an hour and a half to 2.5 hours. That means two things can happen. One, you get lucky, Google visits Dig's homepage once a day, which means that maybe in that 24-hour span, yours was there on the front page, Google gets that link. Fantastic, but you know the odds that you're going to be on the front page right when Google hits is pretty low. And then the other option is that Google does what it really does to Dig, which is check it constantly, which means you're really only getting a high PR link for a couple of hours. As soon as it shuffles off to page 2, page 3, page 4, go look at the page rank demonstrators of those pages yourself. Nobody links to them, and you're just not getting a quality link. Third, there are upcoming no-follows. It used to be possible that just by merely submitting to Dig, you were going to get a ton of great links. You get links from the upcoming page, everybody who voted on your story, you get links from their list of things that they voted on, any sort of tags, any commenting. In fact, there was a great canonical error where thousands of pages of your content would be there if you just had enough comments on them. Unfortunately, those links are all no-follow now. Even though it's the submitted story that has a ton of popularity, it doesn't get to the front page, you don't get the links. And finally, massive traffic tank. We'll show it on the next graph, but the average front page traffic that we've seen from Dig has dropped from about 40,000 to somewhere in the 10,000 to 15,000 visitor range. It really does greatly depend on the type of social media that you're promoting to the front page of Dig. If it's truly organic in nature and specific to the dig community, you can still get just a ridiculous amount of traffic. But if you're in my situation, where most of the time we're just trying to grasp at straws to come up with content that is somewhat relevant to a client that has nothing to do with the social media industry, or certainly with what diggers like to vote on, then you're going to get a smaller amount of traffic. So I like to say dig is dead to me, except dig users use a lot of other networks. So if you're willing to put a button on your page for Reddit, for Climb, for Delicious, for all of these other things, and you find that it's particularly easy for you to get to the front page of dig, if you're an EDU, if you're popular.org, if you're a newspaper, etc., then it might be worth going ahead and trying to get to the front page of dig, just so you can take those visitors and turn them into votes on other sites. So, the growing case for Reddit. This is just a graph from compete.com of the traffic of Reddit, I believe Delicious, and dig over the course of the last year or so. As you can see, the unique visitors for Reddit or for dig has dropped substantially. And I think one thing worth pointing out is that dig has taken several steps over the course of the last year in their update to increase the number of impressions that occur on their site. Most of the big changes that happened in dig were specifically to monetize the site better. They were willing to say, okay, we're going to get rid of some of our community, we're going to piss a couple of people off, but we're going to increase the ad revenue that we get. And the way they do that is by increasing page views, the same thing that most newspapers do, or sites that are making money on a CPM basis. So these numbers are even grossly skewed too. By all accounts, just looking at the social media traffic that you get from being on the front page, it's dropped substantially more. Reddit, on the other hand, has had a year of just slightly steady increases. There have been no bursts, but just healthily growing up and up and up. So first, we like Reddit because of the large traffic base. There is a huge amount of opportunity on Reddit for social bookmarking still. Secondly, follow homepage links on every subreddit. So you don't necessarily have to get the front page of reddit.com to actually get a valuable link. You can get to the front page of the section on owl husbandry or whatever it is, because they literally have tens of thousands of subreddits about everything you could possibly imagine. And finally, here's the most important thing: dead and dying subreddits. In the same way that interest just waxes and wanes in the online community and in everything that goes on, Reddit actually just leaves those subreddits up. So if something becomes really, really popular over a short amount of time, a subreddit will come up, get tons and tons of links, both from actually being promoted to the front page of Reddit itself, but just from people linking to it from the community. And then maybe a month later, it goes out of style, and now you've got a high PR page on Reddit that you can submit to that nobody's active in. You just got a couple of buddies, you can vote on it, and then immediately get a PR4, PR5, PR6 link. Now, this is sort of magical, just to be like, okay, there's a free PR6 link out there at any time that I want, or there are actually 50 or 100 free PR6 links that are available out there. Well, we actually took a little bit of time for you guys today, and I think you guys are the only ones who can have access to this aside from New Orleans. And you've got a week to do this before they get to see it. So what we did is took a list of the top 9,000 or so subreddits, identified the page rank of all of those subreddits, figured out how often they're posted to and what the average number of votes it takes to succeed, dropped it in a database, made this cool tool that you guys can use at any time. It's just for the folks here at this conference and the next. The URL is there. As you can see, by going to that URL, you are implicitly typing in that you will save me in case of a fire. And we've got a series of these going on here, so you'll catch the pattern as we go. But really, the goal here is sort of to shift the focus of social media bookmarking. And Will pointed this out earlier, and dear God, if he ever speaks before me again, because he just loves to talk about stuff that I'm going to talk about and do a better job at it. Regardless, it used to be this scattershot approach. The idea is, let's create something cool and interesting, post it to Dig, Reddit, Netscape, or Netscape Propeller. And it's just going to get syndicated across the web. We're going to get thousands and thousands and thousands of links. And that was the case for a good while. But now you really do see companies saying, okay, we've got to draw this back. We need some specific goals out of the social media campaign. And honestly, if traffic is not your primary goal, then social media is not for you unless you're targeting links. At least social bookmarking media, that is to say. Because unless you have like a banner ad that you're getting paid for everybody who sees the page, they're not going to convert. Somebody who comes to you from Dig isn't going to buy your product.